Karen.
Yes.
I've been thinking a lot.
Yay.
I don't know how to take that.
I'm very proud of you.
Okay. Well, I've been thinking a lot about Wall Street.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. So the big question there that I've been grappling with all this time, do you think there's a way to connect spirituality with Wall Street?
I don't even know. It would be great.
It would be great, right?
It would be great.
Well, it's a trick question because today's guest went from corporate finance to energy finance.
Oh.
That means she literally helps people align their money with their frequency.
But what about their lack of money?
I think we're going to be talking about that because
I don't know that I want my frequency.
All right, Karen, I think it sounds like my kind of investment plan finally exists, but brace yourself because she's about to reveal how wealth, freedom, and spiritual alignment can actually work together.
Ooh.
And no, Karen, she's not just here to fix your spending habits, although fingers crossed.
My spending habits?
My name is Will.
And I'm Karen.
And unlike Mulder and Scully,
we both want to believe.
so we've embarked on a journey of discovery.
We've talked to people deeply entrenched in the spiritual and metaphysical world.
We've thrown ourselves into weird and wonderful experiences. I even joined a coven of witches.
And wait, you joined a coven?
Yep, all in the interest of finding something
Anything.
that will prove that there's something beyond this physical,
three-dimensional world we all live in.
This is the Skeptic Metaphysicians.
Okay, real talk. Life is a lot. I mean, between working full-time, producing the Skeptic Metaphysicians, launching new reality TV, and trying to be halfway decent parent, sometimes I feel like I'm running on coffee, vibes, and sheer stubbornness. And look, I'm not proud of this, but when I hit that wall, my nerves, well, they get crispy, like burnt toast in a meditation circle, kind of crispy. But then I remember my secret weapon, my little magical flute of calm, my love tuner. Yep, it's basically a necklace that you blow into, but not just any necklace. This baby emits a 528 hertz frequency, also known as the love frequency. A few breaths through it and boom, instant reset. It's like my stress just packs its bags and goes on a silent retreat in Sedona. Seriously, it helps me recenter, quiet the chaos, and feel like myself again. And who wouldn't want a portable pocket of peace? Well, if you're curious, scan the QR code on your screen. When you buy through that special link, not only will you be doing something good for your nervous system, you'll be helping support the show too, because we get a small affiliate fee with it. So go ahead, tune into love, and maybe save your own sanity in the process. Hey there, I'm Will.
And I'm Karen.
And today we are excited to welcome the spiritual investor to the show. She's a former financial executive who walked away from corporate success to pursue a spiritual path that connects energy, intuition, and money.
Ooh.
Now, she helps people build true financial freedom by investing in alignment with their soul's purpose. Elizabeth has guided thousands of seekers and entrepreneurs to rewrite their money stories, stop living paycheck to paycheck, and actually create wealth that feels authentic. I'm feeling Karen's excitement level grow by the second. We are thrilled to welcome her to the Skeptic Metaphysicians, Elizabeth Ralph. Elizabeth, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. I think I could just sit here and say nothing and just listen to you guys. I'm just watching you. I'm like watching the Vanderbilt. I'm like, there he goes. There she goes. Oh yeah, there she goes. Oh, now what's she going to say? I love this.
Well, no pressure.
Now we like to have fun.
We do. This is fun for us. And especially because we get to talk to really like fascinating guests like you, the spiritual investor. I need to ask right up front. You had a very successful corporate career. What in the world went through your head to say, I'm going the spiritual route?
Oh God, you sound just like my family. That's what they said too. They're like, wait. How many years have you been like trying to get this position that you're in now? And what you're doing? What you're leaving? I know. Well, I think, just like a lot of people, we have these things that we want to do, and it's kind of become, the more illogical it is, the more it really sometimes becomes from us, because if it was from the thinking mind, then it would seem logical. And so it didn't seem logical that I would walk away from a career on a financial floor making six-figure bonuses. But I was like, you know what? Every time I step in the elevator and go up to this high security floor, I mean, I loved the people I worked with. I loved the job. But every time I did that, I felt like, God, like a part of me has to just sit here and just, I don't know, go away. Or like there was a part of me that was just felt like it was leaving. And it was really hard to explain. And I felt kind of like a whiny baby, like very ungrateful too, every time I mentioned it, even to myself. So what I decided to do is I just decided to choose. So if that's what I was feeling, then I would choose to buy my way out of it. That way, I could always stay in money neutrality, which is the place that I've always lived with money. That's what I teach. And I'm like, so how can I create the setup for money neutrality rather than worrying about an amount of money? Because the money neutrality is the energetic greatest opening to money. And every single time, money will follow you there. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, it took a whole lot of courage, though, to take that step. Because,
You
like you
know-
said, you did walk away from six-figure bonuses, for God's sake.
But she was paying with her soul.
Well, I hear you. And Elizabeth, you are speaking to my soul right now. I don't know how many times I've talked about it on the show and to Karen. That is where I am right now. Every time I go into the office, I feel like a little part of me is missing, is lost.
Your boss doesn't listen to this, does she?
No, I love my boss. The only good thing about my job is my boss. Hi, Stephanie. But it took a lot of courage. I'm at the point where I don't think I have the courage to just walk away from anything that is keeping my family afloat.
Well, you would if you didn't see any lack in it, because then you couldn't actually feel like you needed courage to replace whatever it is you feel like you're going to need to replace.
I have a whole lot of lack. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, typically with myself, like the simplest plan ends up being the best for me because it's almost like, and I feel like when we get plans like from knowingness, like I don't know, you know, you have kids, right? You didn't have to call and ask someone, how do I raise my kid? This is knowingness, right? It's like oh, you did.
Well,
Do you have a knowingness about something else?
do I have a knowing about something
I
else?
don't know.
I know how to eat like no one's business.
that's true.
Yeah. No, I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah. No, we're teasing, but we did know, like, but we were scared leaving the hospital. Like, how are we going to take care of this life? But yeah, it was instinctual for us.
Yeah. And it's interesting because we also look back on those really scary moments as some of the best moments of our life. Yet going forward, if we look at our future, we're afraid to live those.
So, you know what my next question is going to be, right?
It's infinite possibility.
There's one question, and that is how? How does someone go from lack to neutrality?
Yeah, and how does someone? So, I'm sure you get this a lot. You know, you're talking about making six-figure bonuses, but most people aren't. So, how does someone that doesn't have that situation get the courage to take these steps?
Well, money is all relative because money is ones and zeros. So a six-figure bonus to me, that could be the same thing as $1 million bonus to someone else. That could be the same thing as a $1,500 bonus to someone. So we have to understand that money is only defined by our own personal relationship with it. So I think that's the first thing is, what is your relationship to the certain amount of money that makes you feel at ease? And how can you buy your way into that based on knowingness and choices? I knew, like I had this phrase came to me when I was, in my early 30s, because I retired at 39. So the phrase, it didn't even really make sense. It's just that I kept hearing it. And what it was you're going to need options in your 40s. And it was almost like I kind of trusted it more because I didn't have any definition. It also served me well because it applied everywhere. I remember talking to my best friend on the phone at lunch and I was just miserable. And I was like, she's like on a boat on the lake and don't you want to come up and, all this. And I'm like, but I'm going to need options in my 40s. Now, I'm painting this picture. It's not like I've like struggled and stressed out. I mean, I did have a great life, and like I said, I did love the job, but I knew that I didn't want to be in a corporate office kind of surrounded by the glass wall, which felt like it was closing in for an extended period of time, because I did know deep down that I was going to have to give up a part of myself to keep doing it into my late 40s, 50s, and 60s. And it was just, there's no wrong or right, but there is a very solid answer for you, Will, that makes like, where you're just like, it feels like a hammer just landed. You're like, no, that's what I'm doing. And then once you get that, there's no such thing as courage.
I get that. The problem is finding what that hammer is. Yeah?
Not really.
Oh God, we gotta talk. Okay, hang on. All right, let's take it back. We've talked to people that talk about the law of attraction and abundance and all that kind of stuff on several occasions. And everyone has talked about the fact that money is really just energy, right? It's an energy flow. Money in, money out, money in, money out. You're supposed to let it flow, right? So how you talk about aligning people with their frequency when it comes to money. How does that fit into the energy flow that we've talked to different people about?
Well, I mean, we could even, build upon you. We kind of started this with your example. So let me just ask you, who are you, Will? Okay, good. Keep going with that. Who are you?
Who am I?
are you?
I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a
No.
show host.
Who are you though?
Not what.
I'm not sure that I know who I am in that case. I mean,
You do.
do I? Maybe you can define that question for me.
Okay, let's say you were dropped here on Earth, just like alien ship dropped you down, right? This is perfect for this podcast too, right? We've all got the visual of this, right? You
Right.
guys all go with me here, right?
Yes,
Will's being dropped down onto the ground, poof, like
as
he's done.
as
on
it
the
happens
ground.
all the time. Yeah.
Yes, the dust is puffing up on all the sides of him, right? There's no one around. It's just you. There's no kids, there's no wife, there's no nothing. It is just you. And something, whatever you envision it is, you get the message somehow that all you have to do is go out and exchange your full value, and money, which is energy, will be exchanged equally back to you. That's all you have to do. You don't have to talk to anyone, you don't have to, unless it involves that. That's all you have to do. What would that be?
I think that might be part of the problem. I'm not really sure I know. My entire career has been in television. So, knee-jerk, it would be I'm a television producer. But I'm not now because it's not, I don't feel aligned. So then I'm a storyteller. But I'm not because I don't tell stories anymore. I help other people tell stories. So I guess I'm a messenger of sorts. I'm a platform for those with a message to get their messages across. Does that make sense?
What do you get when you get a message across to someone? What do you feel? What's there for you?
Joy. I have fun, right? We do the show and it's a lot of fun. We enjoy doing this, what we're doing.
Okay, and then thank you for going through this, by the way. And
Sure.
then when you give someone, you say you're a messenger. What's the benefit to them of getting the message that you give?
Hopefully we'll help them to grow spiritually.
How do you know that?
I don't. I take it on faith. We've gotten messages from people that say that it helps them, that has been a source of inspiration for them, that it's helped them to make them feel normal. So we get that feedback from people. We don't know for sure how many or who or if we help people. We just do it because we love doing it.
Well, that's what I was going to say, right? So you can probably tell when it's just like in person, but yeah, it would be probably more difficult with this. So you kind of already do know what you want to do. So then what you can do is you can sort of, there is something there. You have more of a foundation than you think about what you want to do. So then you can look in the area of permission, because there's something standing in the way of you're the only one that can block your access. And so of course you would feel like a part of you is dying, and it would seem like the circumstances, but it's actually lack of access. And every time, because your attention is so incredible, because you've been given, or all given, energetic currency. And so when you rise to the standard where the way that you are living, and this is for all of us, not just you, is your attention, your standard is so high that you would never actually allow yourself to say, I don't know, because it's that valuable. What it does is it pulls your energy in so vertical and so deep that you almost walk around in life like things are in slow motion. And when you walk in a room, people feel you. You have a different presence. And the deeper you go into your presence, what happens is that people start getting invited into you, money, opportunities, and all this. And that is when the universal field actually, which is already here, gets to get in. And then your entire life is operating by an invite. And the only thing that you're going back to is that knowingness. And it happens very fast. There's an acceleration factor, because then the world around you feels what you're doing. It's like when someone decides they're going to be a professional baseball player and they start to orient their life, their world around them changes, and we all start to sort of invisibly support them. And that's where it goes into, we're expanding into our greater consciousness. And at the same time, we're on a path of abundance, be it wealth or whatever we choose that abundance to be. It's not just about us. We have to create the invite. And we've never been taught to do that, because we've been raised in this control and greed, and you have to survive and sacrifice. And that has actually given all of our power away.
That's a lot. That I can see that being a lot of work and overwhelming. So how does someone start on this path?
Yeah, that's a great question. The reason that it seems like a lot of work and overwhelming is because we've been raised in a society where when you want to bring something into your life, let's say add it into your life or get something, it is always associated with sacrifice or productivity or something like that, which requires more of us. When we are, let's go back to Will feeling joy. Mm-hmm. When he is being the messenger and he's feeling joy, it never enters his mind that it's work.
True.
It's true.
Very true.
So actually, if it feels like work, then there's two things you can do. Look at the fact that that's really just a relationship. You're sort of stopping yourself. A lot of people avoid going down a path because they're like, oh, that's too much work. Well, we're kind of lazy. So there's that. And the second thing is, if it starts to become work, there is something inauthentic in it. And you get to look at that.
So what I heard you say, and I could be mistaken, but I heard you say that it has to do with knowing yourself is the first step, right? Knowing who you are. Like you started the conversation with who are you, Will. So should I take from that, the more I know who I am, the better the flow is going to be, so that when I walk into the room knowing who I am will automatically attract these opportunities? Because the reason why I ask is I didn't have an answer for you. Mm-hmm. We had to run around a lot until we found what we're talking about here. And lo and behold, yep, I know who I am. I just didn't know who I am.
You didn't know you knew.
Right. So perhaps my lack stems from the fact that I'm not connected with who I actually am.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's knowing who you are from a definition point, and there's knowing who you are from a feeling point. And when you know who you are from a feeling point, when you walk in the room, everybody else knows who you are too. And it's not because you've said anything. It's because of who you are.
Like, I think we're a little bit different that way, because I don't, like when you're saying, you know, I'm a producer and I'm all this, I can't define myself well that way. But I think I know more emotionally who I am than on the outside. You know?
Karen, who are you?
Well, I think, so we talk a lot about love. And I think I'm someone that expresses that a lot. People talk to me. They share their stories. We laugh together. We hug each other. Like we have that. I have those bonds with people. So I think I'm just someone who loves. I don't know.
Yes, unfortunately, that profession is not legal, so we have to think about other stuff.
But it can make a lot of money. What would you say to Karen about that? Like, would she? I mean, to me, what jumps to mind is, well, it sounds like you are a perfect counselor, right? Someone that brings people together. But I don't know. Yeah, and I've thought about that, but I think I'm too much of an empath. I think I would just be devastated by the end of the day every day. I think I would like suck in everyone's problems and just be sad.
Yeah. Well, this is really great. So basically, and you've probably talked about this, you know, here on the podcast anyways, but there's the old paradigm and there's the new paradigm, right? And we've sort of like, we're in the new paradigm, but we're just kind of bridging the gap right now. So just, you know, building on what you just said. So, you know, you talked about, you know, a counselor, but then maybe, you know, you're too empathetic and you'd be, you know, at the end of the day, that would be, you know, a bit challenging. So, that's a description. And so what happens is in the old world, like you have your description. So you have what you think a counselor is. When I hear it, I have what I think of as counselor is. So I'm not actually interacting with you. I'm interacting with the version of you that I've put in my mind that is a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
And you are interacting with the version of you that you would see as a counselor. So it's actually just us and us, right? So that what we're interacting with in the old world is so flat. And it is such a yours and mine, because that's really the way the setup that we've been living in. It's not because it's wrong. It's just because that's what was being done then. So in the new world, the way that we actually can stay and exist in it, because we're always going back and forth, is we must go beyond our definitions because the language doesn't apply. And so even we have to do this with ourselves first and foremost, because everything starts within. So even you going, I could be this, but then that might make me feel like this, or this might affect me this way. So you are moving yourself closer and further away and closer and further away. It's almost like you are having the conversation with yourself. And it's a bit of like running around yourself. If you go beyond that, and you can go really vertical with this if you want, and you can say, if I was going to die tomorrow and I was sitting in front of someone, who am I then? And maybe you can answer that. Who are you then?
Scared? No.
Wait, you have talked me off a ledge about death.
Not just of the actual dying part, not of the after. Like, is it going to hurt? Gosh. See, that's when I would kind of go to those definitions. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister.
That's not what you are.
I know. But I think that's how I would feel like I have to, you know, you want to say goodbye to your family or whatever, and I would be in those roles with each different person to say my goodbyes to them. So I don't know. I don't know who
And that's okay. That's okay. So now what you get to look at is you're running away from that answer. And it's very justified, because in this world we're supposed to care about everybody else first. So it's normal, it's natural, and all we're doing is we're just learning how to walk a new path. And we have to not judge the old path too, because then that just pulls us right back into the old path, you know? It's like, if my attention is on, you know, oh, that's not it, I'm not going to be in that world anymore, then I'm in that world. Yeah. So it's just something for you to look at that you're moving away from it. Because actually, Will went right in there.
Yay.
Ha ha ha.
And I avoided. Eject.
Well, this was way more of a counseling session than I ever expected. So, for the general person that's listening to the show who's not Will or Karen, what would be the first step for them to find out or to align themselves more with their frequency? Because everybody needs or wants to be maybe not abundant, but like you mentioned, money neutral. Let's define that first. What do you mean by money neutral?
Well, let me ask, because you said when people want to know who they want to be, right? So let's start with that, and then I'll move that into money neutrality. Okay, so I would say a really sort of hack, easy way for someone to go, like, how do I know who I want to be? And this is just something that makes sense to me, is like, who can you absolutely not be?
I think I found that during my existential crisis that
Okay.
birthed this show.
Okay, good. So who can you absolutely not be, right? Now, it could look wonky and it could make no sense. Like in fact, if it makes no sense, that's typically even better, right? So I'll just leave it at that. When money neutrality is actually a function of that, because everything here is just access points, right? And so we're living in its parallel realities. And so we're just drawing down whatever parallel reality we choose to live in. And we're jumping timelines based on creating these new versions of ourselves, which isn't really a new version because it's just us and we're letting go of an old version and it feels new. Money neutrality is a void and it's an opening. Have you ever been in front of someone where they're just so mesmerizing or powerful or magnetic that you're already thinking in your mind, how can I get closer to this person? Or how can I spend more time? And you can get to a point where you don't even freaking, I don't care what they have to offer. I have to be next to this person, right? So that's an example, and we feel that.
Yeah, every morning when I wake up.
There you go.
Next to her.
So, okay, so let's just take that, right? So, like we're deciding. So there's only one energy, that is love. Love is the only energy that is out there. We are exchanging our own love, which you can call an energetic currency, and it's an exchange and it's a full circle. So it's not just the invite, it's actually giving too. So it is like it's going out there. And if your ability to receive money is diminished, then you can be giving, and you're not honoring the full circle, right? Money neutrality is when you're balanced on both sides of it. So we get to say what we're trading our energetic currency for. We do that with our own belief system, and we don't know that we're doing it. You see this a lot in like cultures that are rooted in, we care more about family and good food, and we don't need the money kind of thing. Right? You see that. You see, we don't need, it's almost like there's a block. It's a cultural norm to be poor because it's more embedded in a culture. And we see opposite too, where it's a cultural norm that money is so easy. It's just flowing everywhere. Again, money is ones and zeros. We're not defining who people are. We're giving examples here, right? Mm-hmm. So we could see the stop and flow of money, and it's based on that belief system. So money neutrality is you're in that knowingness. You walk in the room, you don't have to think about money because the energy is already being exchanged. If you want money, if you have put it out there that, yeah, I'm going to orient myself to be, I'm going to have $10 million. But it has to be that at ease, though. It's not, I'm frenzied, I need to sign this deal so that I can have $10 million. It's okay, well, that's going to be here anyways, and I'm going to walk in the room, and I'm really enjoying talking to this human being. You have to carry the energy of the $10 million first. And it's all perfect because you have to know you first.
So then do you, I guess, maybe consciously or subconsciously, I'm not sure, make the decision that you want this $10,000 and then $10 million, and then just kind of let it go?
You can. It depends on your relationship with it. If I've already made $100 million last month, then I'm going to walk in the room and say, okay, well, I'm going to make $10 million. I mean, it'd be as easy as for me asking for, another glass of water. But if I've only made 10,000 and I'm going in there, then it's very, very different. So that has to be decided by the individual. And that's where we move away from money neutrality. And that's where people really get stuck, especially when they run spiritual businesses, because there's this whole like correlation between spirituality and money and all of that. And then people give these rules. Okay, well, you need to save 10%. You need to do this in your business. You need to do that. Well, it's how do they know your energetic currency? They don't.
Well, then, I mean, yay. Awesome. It sounds amazing. How? How does someone get to that point? Because we'll go back to the counseling session for a second. We have talked to a lot of people about you need to feel the energy of it before you get there, right? You need to feel like you already have it in order for you to have it. But then other people say it's not really the money you want, it's the feeling you get by having the money. That's what you're going for, is that feeling. So, and now, yes, having that money neutrality, going into the room and saying, I'm going to make $10 million and actually bringing that energy with you sounds wonderful. But subconsciously, I might be about to say something that's a little controversial, but I believe that we have been trained to live in lack by design, to keep us
Keep the hamster wheel spinning.
to keep us dependent, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of programming that is inside of each one of us that we have to overcome to be able to bring that $10 million energy to the table, to that conversation. So let's talk specifically, Karen and I, because we can be the stand-ins for the audience right now. If we are in a point where we're not bringing that $10 million energy into the conversation, even though we want to, and we have done that whole thing, yep, it's coming, and we know it's coming, but something deep down inside is saying, but is it really, right? So how do you overcome that little voice in your head that says, sure, right?
I'm so glad you're asking this, because I think you're right. I think there's all these concepts that are thrown out there, and there is accuracy because there's truth in everything. But then I think we are ready for a bit more of an advanced conversation about, okay, we've heard all this, but like, how do we really, like, where's the rubber meet the road here? Which is what I'm understanding that you're asking. When you say how, it goes back to, how can you not? Because why would you ask for something like, it's already here. It's just that you haven't chosen that you want it.
But inside, right? Because I've chosen it 17,000 times and it's never been there, even though I chose it.
You've chosen it, but you've chosen it from your belief system now. So let's just even go back to, okay, so you have an amazing podcast. I love it. It's incredible. You're dynamic, everything.
Thank
you.
you.
You already are doing what you said that you wanted to do. However, you really, honestly, I don't even think that you're giving yourself the credit. And so in that way, you haven't chosen.
I hear what you're saying, but there are metrics that we can follow that show that we aren't there, right? So we do feel the show is fun and we have a great time, and people like you come on the show, and people who aren't even on the show tell us how wonderful the show is and how much they enjoy it, but we can't seem to get it in front of millions of people, which is what we would need to do in order to make this be our livelihood.
Well, you can't, because you're looking at what's not there, because you're looking at the metrics. So stop looking at the metrics.
But whatever doesn't get measured doesn't get done, right?
Which world do you want to play in?
Ah, there's the rub, right? That's the 3D world that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So how do you open the gate to the existential playground?
Do you not, is it just that we shouldn't just don't care?
Well, this goes back to, okay, we're working with your energetic currency. You just told me what you focus on that's not there. That is that to me, that's a no-brainer. You want to play in the universal world because that's where the millions of people are. then you have to let that go. And so it becomes a game of self-awareness first and foremost. Now you know that, you're like, okay, you can look at the metrics. What you can't make meaning out of the metrics, so you have to not look at the metrics, or you're going to make meaning out of them because you're a human being, right?
Sure.
That's step one. What comes up from you there, though, because all these answers have to be discovered. That's another thing that people don't do. They want, give me the 950 steps right now so I can make sure and measure myself with each one. No, it doesn't work that way unless you want to go back to the 3D. So now what's coming up?
Confusion. If I don't look at the metrics, I won't know whether we're on the right path.
Really?
I mean,
really? Why not? Tell me that. Go deeper on that. Why won't you know?
Because metrics show you where, the show is being successful. It is being well received. Whereas what I'm hearing you say is that we should be doing it for the love of what we're doing versus,
No,
okay.
I mean, you're going to do something for the love of it anyways. You don't need me to tell you to do that, because that's what you're orienting, the way that you're orienting. What I'm saying is that if you have 10 things in front of you and you have already acknowledged that one of them is shining a flashlight on what you don't have, turn the flashlight off. That's all I'm saying. Because there's other things that you can look at. You have to choose from infinite possibility. What are the indicators? What are the other indicators that go beyond what everybody else looks at in the 3D world? Because that is pulling you more into it.
I think I get it.
Keep
I
going.
think I get it.
Yes.
But I see by Karen's look of confusion that she does
I
not.
don't get it. Because then I would think, you're talking about the other indicators. So if you're looking at an other indicator, how is that different than looking at the metrics as an indicator?
Well, because then you get to discover, what does that indicator mean to you? Is that full of more possibility? Because all you're doing, think of this as like you're going up the mountain. If I give you a backpack and it's causing you to walk really, really, really slow, and you're like, but no, I have to carry this backpack, I'm not going to make it. But then this guy over here is like, walking past you, and you don't know what metrics he's looking at. All you know is he's walking past you. So there's no truth. The only thing there is, do you want the accelerated, effortless path? That's what you're looking for. And you can't find it in a metric that's telling you that you're not doing it right. It's not there. That metric is devoid of anything for you because of your relationship with it.
So what's our metric?
What's our metric? I don't know. What do you think?
Those messages that we get from people.
I was just going to say the reviews, but then is that looking at reviews?
Not the reviews, but the messages. We just got a voicemail today. A 7 second.
I guess that's what I'm.
7 second voicemail. That all it was, I really appreciate your show. How did that make you feel?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I think that's what you're thinking of, what you're talking about. Yeah?
Yes, because there's something inside of that, right? And even just I saw the look on your guys' face, the energy between the two of you, the interaction, right? Bringing yourself back to that, right? There's something inside of that. So let's just throw darts against the wall. Who is that person? What if now you've shared that, right? So what you've done, you have actually expanded that energy, right? What else is going on that is reflecting back to you, that is a signal that is pulling you out there? Because there is some opportunity, something that's going to happen in your life when you're in an open state of being like that, that is going to give you your next answer and your next answer and your next answer.
The New Reality TV is a streaming platform we launched in January.
Okay.
That's out now. So is that what you mean? Like,
it is. Can you? I mean, that sounds like you've got something incredible to give people, which goes exactly with who you are. What am I going to get from that?
Well, so the 3D me says it can be a vocation. It could be a way for me to take care of my family, to provide for my family.
No, I'm saying, what am I going to get from this amazing content that's sitting there that you're giving away for free?
What are you going to get, or us?
Me. If I were to listen to it, like I'm a listener.
So it's actually television, so you be able to see and hear all of these messages. It's really it's a one place where everyone can go to find their path, no matter what it is, because there's so many different paths. It's a safe place for you to go that you know you're not going to be served any fear-based content. You're not going to feel like you're being sold anything. You're going there specifically just to learn, to grow, and to feel better about yourself and mankind.
Amazing. So if you carry just the energy of that, you drop all the details, we're drawn in, because then you have given me an invite. You haven't told me the stuff that's not relevant to me. You've given me just, and I'm like, whoa, okay. Wait, it's a no-brainer. Is this kind of making sense? It ends up being our responsibility to be aware of what other people are wanting to receive, and you mentioned empathy. It's a flavor of that, so that we can let go of the things that are bothering us or that we think that are important. And we are literally, that's service. Like, you're in service if you have taken it to the level where you're going to remove all the gunk that I don't want to hear about, and you're just going to tell me. And you even said you love to be a storyteller. That's storytelling. You're just storytelling with energetic currency, which is just sharing and expressing you, which is actually connecting you. Money is actually connection. People just can't stand the concept of that.
Do you get it?
Why are you asking me?
Because I think I get it.
Do you get it?
I think I get it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so there's one thing that puts a wrench into my thought process in all this, and that is the need to feel secure, right? The need to sock away $100,000 in a bank in case of, right?
Or for when we get old.
Not just when we get old. What if I lose my job? What if the economy tanks? What if whatever? Right. What if we lose our house? Whatever.
Those are what ifs. We're definitely getting old.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. So, and I understand. I do understand what you're saying, and I love what you're saying, and it's going to go a long way towards helping me. I can't speak for Karen, but definitely me. But then the challenge that I run into is, okay, when is $100,000? Is that going to be enough, or $200,000 going to be enough, or $300,000 going to be enough? Because that's back to the 3D, like you were talking about. So what if your thought process is difficult to get out of I need this to feel secure? How does someone get to that point?
Yeah. So, you mean you don't know, right? And I think you've already said that you kind of brought that up in the question, right? You're not going to know. Is it $100,000? Is it $300,000? What is it, right? So if you know that you don't know, then what you do is your standards are high enough, again, where you're not going to place your attention on that. You go, oh, I'm sweeping that away. I'm never going to ask myself that again, because there's no answer to that. I'm going to take my attention instead, and I'm going to look at where is my normal set point with money right now, and what causes it to be that way. So like if I ask people, is it difficult to make $100 a month? Most people would be like, no, that's easy, right? They don't think about it. Therefore, guess what happens? Every month consistently is $100 a month. Now, if you ask someone if they can make $100,000 a month, for some people, that's like, no, I have to do all this work. I don't have time. I won't be able to be around the kids. Story, right? It's all just energy. But that's fine. So what that does is that tells us that your life, the way that you live your life, your self-expression of who you are right now, does not support $100,000 a month. That is completely okay, because you live in infinite possibility like everybody else. Do you really want that though? I mean, if you really want that, then what you'll do is you'll say, okay, what choice am I going to make? It all comes down to a choice. It's no different. Do I really want steak for dinner? Am I going to drive across town? Am I going to get that? Am I going to put that into it? Yes, I'm making the choice. Let's get in the car and go. We make it so challenging and difficult. And anytime something's challenging and difficult, it's already outside of us. It's not outside of you to go and drive and get a steak across town.
Yeah, but aren't we now back in 3D, where you have to put a certain amount of effort into making that 100,000 a month?
No, you're making the choice. So you make the choice, okay, I want 100,000 a month. Now, going back to this thing where people talk about, okay, you got to create the feeling, right? When you think about making $100,000 a month, what feeling naturally comes up in you?
Freedom,
Okay.
safety, happiness,
Freedom, safety,
relaxation.
Okay. So what then comes up with you with what is that going to cost you?
I don't know that I can answer that. I have no idea how to make $100,000 a month.
I'm just gonna
But I
say,
mean, what is it going to cost you in your life? What are you going to have to do different? Who are you going to have to be that you're not right now? That's all that matters. Because there is a parallel reality of a will out there that it's so easy to make $100,000 a month that he forgets to mention it. Like, what? Pull that down.
Yeah, I need that will to mention it to me,
There you
because
go.
I really have no idea how we would do that at this present point in time. I don't know that we are at that place where we can actually even imagine how to go about doing that.
But you already have talked about the reaching millions and the expansion and all of that. Why is that separate from making 100,000 a month?
Got it.
So then you pulled yourself back into the world of energy. Because what you did is you moved back towards everything as one. So when you find yourself in categories and going how and all of this, it's okay, but know that you're wandering out into the forest again.
I'm just trying to picture this. I'm like, so we want to reach millions. Then how do we do that? No. But, and then doesn't that bring us back into looking at the numbers and the metrics?
Let me ask you this. If you were in a room right now, because it's easy to like picture this maybe.
Okay.
If you were in like a room, it'd have to be like a massive concert or something, right? And there were 1 million people around you right now. It's dark and they have their phones up or like a lighter going or whatever. And they're cheering. And then all of a sudden they get really quiet. What would you say to them?
I don't know.
When you find that out, you can speak to them. Can you see why you can't speak to them now?
I don't know. I'm like envisioning this. They're all really quiet. What would I say? But I can't speak to them because they're not paying attention. Because they're watching the concert and it's loud. So that's why I can't speak to them.
Or
You just ran away. You just ran away. You ran away.
I mean, I could speak to someone and maybe they could pass the word.
unless you're the concert.
Right.
Well, then yeah.
So you got 1 million people
Mm-hmm.
just finished cheering you on, and they got quiet and they're waiting on your next word. You're on stage. What do you say?
I would tell them all just to love everybody as much as they possibly can. Because I say that all the time. Yeah, that's like my thing. I just try to share the love. But I don't know that that's necessarily what we're going for here. What would you say to them?
She didn't ask me. This is about you.
Okay, so say
Just
that.
Be kind.
Say that. But say it to me as if that's the last thing I'm going to hear. How would you say it then?
I would say the most important thing I feel like you should do in your heart is to have love and show that kindness, because it doesn't take any true effort to be kind and to be loving. And the simplest little word you can give to someone can actually change their lives for the better.
Wow. So I felt that, and I know you now. You see the difference? You gave us you in that moment. And that is a magnetism that reaches millions.
And by being that authentic you all the time,
Yes.
that's the way
exactly.
to magnetize
Exactly.
money neutrality.
Right. You take on the responsibility that that is your effing standard. And your life will change so fast.
Okay, I get it now.
Get it? That's incredibly profound, Elizabeth. That is, it took us a long time to get there. But once we got there, we got it. And
I almost started crying.
I know.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, because this is a co-creation, right? This is absolutely a from somewhere else co-creation with the three of us and the energy of the audience. I couldn't sit here and have this conversation otherwise, right? The vulnerability, the accessibility, the willingness, the love between the two of you, the dynamic, all that you've set up, it's all an integral piece. And when we start recognizing how important we actually are, then we'll stop placing all the emphasis on everybody else and we'll start giving ourselves permission to do these things.
Damn.
Mic drop.
That was profound. Holy cow.
All right. Well, I'm looking at the time and I'm dreading what I'm going to have to say. But before we go, can you give us an example of someone that you have worked with that has taken this to heart and changed their lives for the better?
Gosh, example. Do you have anything in particular in mind? Because I have so many different facets.
Like someone who perhaps came to you who needed some help, and you were able to get them to understand what you walked us through, and then they changed their lives financially, for example.
I would say something that I see kind of a pattern that I see when people come into the spiritual investor or whatever is when they're willing to go vertical and let go, which by the way, you guys, you let go. You can feel that you let go today, right? In order to let in. I see a shift within about 2 to 3 weeks of where people start to have this feeling where they look back on themselves because there actually is no time. We're just pulling down a new version. We've all felt this where we go along in life and maybe someone that we knew before comes into our life again. And it's like they're talking about something that we used to laugh about, but we can't talk about it anymore. Mm-hmm. Or like there's a type of food that we can't eat anymore. We just can't do it. Mm-hmm. So that's when you start to get that feeling, you know that you've actually jumped timelines. And when you know that, then that becomes an access point. And then whatever dream and goal and wish someone has, they start pulling it in at that point. So it might have been a goal before that looked like, okay, I want a new car. But like it could be the same goal, but because they're a new version of themselves, they have a different access to that because basically their perception and their belief in their self has changed. What will happen is they will start to talk about that more freely because they'll start to believe that it's in their life, right? So, I have, just recent example, just, this week, a woman who, she invests a lot of money in her investing account. And then she decided that she wanted to buy a house and she wanted to pay cash for it. Well, then she got in the house and she thought she was going to like the house. And she's like, I don't really like the house, but I'm not going to put the house back on the market. What do I really want? So like she kept discovering what I really want. She just dropped a message in the group this week. I decided I really just wanted to, take my son out of school for a couple of weeks and just be able to travel together. And I booked tickets for us to go to Japan. And here's a photo of us. And this has changed my life. Right. So it's like you get to know yourself, but you actually get to express yourself in a different way. And so that abundance, it shows up in your life, in relationships. It shows up in she also got an offer from a crypto firm. So she has a big job waiting for her. So it's just like, it starts to kind of blow your mind a little bit. And if you let it blow your mind, it won't slow you down.
Cool. I love that. Mm-hmm. So talk to us about the spiritual investor. Is that, how does that work? If someone wants to be part of it or work with you, how does that work?
Yeah. So it's 3 levels. There is a club level, which is $17 a month. That's if anybody just wants to start, scratch the surface and go deeper on this. Also, I teach people how to get started investing because that's a lot of what I do is you learn to call money in. Well, you don't want to keep having to go out there and, like we want to get away from the earned income because that's the old model. So how
Yes.
can you take money and then start allowing money to expand for you? So that's a really great place for people to start. Is the club. If you want to be, you want to learn a bit more about investing, or you want to go into the actual practices of all of this, we have advanced, and that's about $200 a month. And then if you want to really go vertical, which that's kind of the gold standard. A lot of people, they come in and they want to do this. That's the Spiritual Investor Mastermind. And that's where I work with you directly for 12 weeks. And
Oh, wow.
you can imagine if we did this for 12 weeks, right? It's like, even your family doesn't know you at that point.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Right. And I think you were gracious enough to provide an offer for those that are actually listening right now.
I would love to invite all of the listeners in to the Spiritual Investor Club for free and just let them poke around, let them try it. We've got stock picks for you. We've even got, live calls in there where we do kind of things like this, and you can post questions and stuff. So it's a discovery space.
Very cool. Well, we're going to add that information to our show notes. Thank you for that. That's incredible.
Yes.
If you're listening to this right now or you're watching this right now and you want to experience it, then go to our show notes or go to the description down below and you will see what you have to do to access that special discount or that special offer that you're offering. So, Elizabeth, I could talk to you forever, or I should say, I could be counseled by you forever. So,
Yeah, we can listen to you for.
It's us, right?
right. I think I have an idea of maybe on a monthly basis, we can have a spiritual investor give us like a stock tip. This month's stock tip, right? Just so we can get like a free counseling session each time. This has been wonderful. It certainly opened up my mind, my eyes, and I think I've got a lot of thinking to do.
I know, you think you're thinking in the right direction, and then you're like, what the hell? It was way off
I was like,
track.
what was I thinking? For God's sake. If someone wanted to take advantage, we're going to put the information in the show notes, but if someone wanted to reach out to you specifically, is that the best place to go to connect with you?
Well, they could listen to the Spiritual Investor podcast. That's one. I would say Instagram, though. Just send me a DM on Instagram. I answer all the questions. I'm happy to help you. It's just my full name, just Elizabeth Ralph. That you'll also learn a lot because I put a lot of this stuff in little videos. So that's it's kind of, you can pick your flavor on it, I guess.
Very cool. Well, we're going to add that to our show notes as well, so you can have access to it. All you need to do is go to skepticmetaphysician.com, go to her episode page, and you'll see those links laid in there directly, so it's easy for you to access. You don't have to hunt and peck. It's right there for you. Elizabeth, thank you so much for being on the show. This has been truly inspiring. I thank you. I thank you for teaching us a thing or two, and we look forward to seeing how this affects those that are listening, because it certainly affected us. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with everyone else too.
God, thank you. And I just want to say that if you weren't so incredible and open and like just literally the vibration of love, there's no way this would have happened. So thank you.
Well, very kind of you to say. Thank you so much. All right. Thanks for being on the show. We'll talk to you again soon.